What if I told you that one of the world's poorest nations just challenged the world's most powerful empires, and won? What if I told you that Africa, a continent once chained by colonialism, is now quietly building a new center of gravity, and its pulse beats from a small, landlocked country called Burkina Faso? For decades, this country was dismissed as insignificant: no sea, no oil, no gold empire to envy. But what it does have is courage. And courage, when combined with conviction, can reshape history. Because in an era where nations kneel for aid, Burkina Faso stood up and said, "We are not a land of deportation. We are a land of dignity." This is not a rebellion of bullets. It's a rebellion of belief. And it may just redefine what freedom means, not just for Africa, but for the entire world. Let's go inside the story of how a forgotten country became the symbol of a continent's rebirth. To understand Burkina Faso's defiance, you must first understand its chains. For more than a century, West Africa was carved, traded, and exploited by foreign powers: the French, the British, the Portuguese, who divided land not by people, but by profit. When independence came, it was a mirage. New flags, new leaders, but the same invisible leash: economic control, currency control, military presence, and cultural dependence. Burkina Faso, like many others, was taught that progress meant imitation. That to be developed was to become Western. That sovereignty could be rented, as long as you behaved. And for years, Africa obeyed. But then came a generation that refused to bow. A generation that looked at the scars of history and said, "Enough." In 2022, a young leader emerged from the heart of Burkina Faso's army, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. At just 34, he led a revolution that was not fueled by greed, but by grievance, by the pain of a people tired of being told what they could and couldn't do on their own soil. When Western nations pressured Burkina Faso to accept deported African migrants, Traoré's government refused. When the European Union tried to dictate the country's alliances, Burkina Faso cut the strings. When France insisted on keeping military bases, the Burkinabe people said, "Go home." That was the moment the world realized, this was not the old Africa anymore. But rebellion alone isn't power. To last, defiance must become doctrine. And that's exactly what Burkina Faso is doing. By removing visa fees for all Africans, it sent a message: Africa belongs to Africans. By investing in regional trade corridors, it began to weave an economy no longer tied to Paris or Washington. By forming the alliance of Sahel states with Mali and Niger, it built a military and economic partnership grounded in independence, not instruction. Every one of these steps transforms independence from rhetoric into infrastructure. Diplomatically, it's a tectonic shift. Ouagadougou is no longer a satellite orbiting foreign capitals. It's becoming a gravitational center, a place from which new ideas of policy, pride, and purpose radiate outward. This is not a protest against the old world. It's a prototype for a new one. The West defines leadership as the ability to command. But Africa's new renaissance defines it as the ability to protect. To protect sovereignty, solidarity, and the sacred balance between security and humanity. That's what Traoré's movement represents. When he said, "We are not a land of deportation," he wasn't just rejecting a policy, he was redefining dignity. Because dignity, once dismissed as moral luxury, is now political currency. A nation that values its dignity cannot be bought, bribed, or bullied. And when that happens, every loan, sanction, and summit loses its leverage. That's the moment when a colony becomes a civilization again. But there's a quiet danger hidden in every revolution. As Africa rises alongside Russia, China, and others, it must remember, dependence wears many flags. History's trap is not just being ruled by the West, it's being owned by anyone. True sovereignty isn't about who helps you. It's about who cannot own you. Burkina Faso's challenge, and its opportunity, lies in balance. To build partnerships without chains. To accept help without surrendering control. Because independence isn't achieved once, it must be defended every day. Freedom is not achieved by fighting for entry, it's achieved by becoming a destination. And that's what Burkina Faso is becoming, a destination for pride, for purpose, and for the rebirth of an entire continent's confidence. For generations, Africa was told to wait for development, for approval, for permission. But the new Africa isn't waiting anymore. It's building. It's leading. And it's daring to dream without supervision. Burkina Faso is no longer just a country, it's an idea. An idea that refusal can become respect. That resistance can become order. And that Africa can finally stand tall, not as the world's resource, but as its conscience. Because you are not truly free when others stop controlling you. You are free when they start needing you. So what do you think? Does Africa's defiance mark the birth of a new global balance? Should more nations follow Burkina Faso's path, saying no when dignity is on the line? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe Africa's story deserves to be told, the truth, the culture, the power, then subscribe and hit the bell icon. Because we're just getting started. This is not just history. This is the rebirth of Black civilization. Until the next video, stay aware, stay bold, and stay free.